What is up, people? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Ahsoka Roundtable. This is episode 6. We got two more to go. Before we get into this episode, we're going to go around the panel so these guys could talk about their channels. First up, I got Danny Graham. Mr. Graham, tell the people where they can find you, sir. Mr. Graham is muted. There we
You
go.
can find me. You can find me Monday nights on the Chaos Central channel, along with Anzo, Chris Knight, Eli Hu, Guy Scar, several other people that we invite. Also, you can find me Monday mornings through Friday mornings, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on my morning show called The Road to Wisdom. And, of course, every Sunday night on this show. And next I'll be on Storms Live, and then sometimes you can find me on the OOC. And also on the Hangout. So I'm all over the place.
Absolutely. What up, Drop Shop? What up, Dex J? What up, Dandelion? Thank you guys for popping in. Mr. Knight is in the house. Where can they find you, sir?
Well, you can find me on The Real Review 3000. You can find me Chaos Central, like Danny said. I think we're taking the rest of this month off, though, and we're going to come back and hit it up on October. So... but I think the three of us have been really crazy busy lately. And you can find me on Honstar YT occasionally. Been kind of busy driving around, so I haven't been on much, but I had to be here tonight because, I mean, this show's worth it. So.
Absolutely, 100%. And let's go with Warren. Where can they find you, sir?
You can find me on Twitter. That's it. You can find me on Twitter. Okay. I talk a lot on there. I speak facts, not feelings. Twitter. That's
But
it.
I would advise you guys not to even look for him on Twitter because you'll get a headache if you follow his tweets. Like, they will just piss you off. So don't follow Warren on Twitter. Hopefully he'll get that YouTube channel going, and then you can try and follow him on here and just, spam his chat with real facts contradicting the shit that he's going to bring up. Brian, you're up, brother.
Facts. All right, whatever. Hey, I'm Brian the Grizzly. I'm one third of Spoiler Kings. You can catch me on Mondays and Thursdays at 9 Central. We're on our live show. We go about 3 hours. We talk about everything from movies to comic books to TV series, and we're gonna start talk about the Continental coming up soon. And then I got football on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Sunday,
I'll watch
Tuesday,
it last
Wednesday. Night. Yeah, so I do football on those days, and unfortunately my Bears are sucking, so you don't want to hear me complain on Tuesday. So come another day.
Hey, listen, we gave you 10 points,
dude. It didn't matter.
Oh boy, you say you talking? You say get that chest pumped out?
Yeah, for real.
Okay, look,
and we gave him 10 points. We pulled Patrick Mahomes out. We gave him 2 interceptions, and they got 10 points. They should feel good about themselves.
Wow.
Hey,
I can't wait till
I hate everybody, but I can't hate
faces the Chiefs. God, I want to see that so bad.
Boy, they might score more points than anyone ever has scored in the game ever. I don't know.
Miami today?
I ain't never seen none of that before.
Miami put 70. 70.
Yeah, that's a basketball game.
Yeah, it's against Denver, people.
Okay.
Whoa! Now wait here, that because y'all lost that first game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear it.
That's any given Sunday because who in the world thought the Cardinals would beat Dallas Cowboys with the number one defense in the NFL?
That's true. True.
My Niners beat the Giants. Oh, well, y'all, we scored 40 points. Y'all didn't score 30. Then you get your ass beat by Arizona. Stop it. I don't want to hear it.
I can't wait to see McLaren skip tomorrow. Ooh, I can't wait to see that.
It's going to be funny. JG, where can they find you, sir?
Wednesday nights on the OOC with the great Anzo, the great Roberto, and the amazing, the outstanding, the charismatic, always man of the hour, Danny, a.k.a. The Road to Wisdom. You can also find me with my homie Super Wise, talking that geek stuff that I love so much.
See, my camera's not on. You can't see my face, but yeah, I am definitely throwing up right now.
You can't see all that haterade going on.
Yeah, I'm throwing up right now.
No, it's not haterade. It's like, I don't know, it's just bile and mixed sewage.
You would think that my two boys, so-called boys, would be happy that I'm getting accolades, but they hate more than anybody else on the screen. You notice that? Don't nobody chance more than Chris and Anzo.
When you left there last week, JG didn't give me any of that stuff, man.
Oh yeah. When you left, he said Danny's gone. I'm no need to say it. You
I
know
was
what I mean?
tired and sleepy. I didn't feel like rambling, so it's
Right, hey, I'll get you. I accept your apology, JJ. You good? You good, bro?
Wow.
We there. We there.
Oh my God. What is with this caca?
y'all just wish y'all had a hype man like me. That's all.
Hey,
I don't wish I had a
hey,
gun to my head.
AJG, believe you me, if a certain person was on here, I'll be good.
Who we talking about?
Mr.
Who we
Majors,
talking-
yes, sir. Yes, your movies are so awesome. Oh my God, yes.
Okay, but Majors and JG
It don't
totally
work.
different.
It don't
You know
matter.
what I mean?
If you like somebody, you like somebody. It
if
don't
Rock-
matter.
if
You ain't gotta be
Rock was-
famous.
If Rock was on here, you'd be doing the same thing.
Negative.
Oh, I'll be calling
Yes,
you
you
Dwayne for the whole segment.
Yes, you would.
I'd be like, I smell what you're cooking, Mr. Rock. Let's go ahead and go.
Yeah,
I know. I smell that.
mhm, sure.
Yes, you cook with Black Adam. That's what I do.
Ooh,
What do you say?
let's not go there. Let's don't
Okay,
start.
okay,
Don't put that up. Don't put that up.
Okay.
Well, Danny likes Black
Y'all
Adam.
say what you
I'm just
want.
saying.
Black Adam wasn't that bad. I don't care what nobody say.
I
Nobody
agree.
say.
No,
it
it
wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
At all.
Black Adam is like my third favorite DC character. He ruined it for me.
Killmonger's.
I'm
I'd rather
sorry.
watch AEW. Rock Adam was not for me, so.
Oh my God. Chillmonger's in the
How does it
house.
feel to have that
Dandelion,
much hate
Perp,
on him? I mean, how
What's
y'all
up,
sustain that?
chill?
Raquel, thank you guys for popping in. Much appreciated. Yeah, it's okay. Let them hate. But we are here to talk about Ahsoka, episode 6. We're gonna go through our overalls, the good, the bad, and our grades and predictions. Mr. Graham, let's get with your overall of this episode.
I didn't like it. I mean, I did like it. I'm glad that they finally saw Thrawn and Ezra. Now, on the negatives, I got a little bit to say about Thrawn in particular, more so than Ezra. But I'm glad they actually did this. And they did it where we actually saw screen time, not wait to the end of the episode and be like a cliffhanger or whatever, like dum dum dum. I'm glad they didn't do that. But overall, it was good. I'm going to kind of say, well, I know this is the name of the show is Ahsoka, and we only saw a few minutes of her, but the way they set it up, and now she's kind of contemplating whether or not she can trust Sabine, and then I think I made a comment to Anzo. It's kind of bad when a droid got more wisdom than the actual human, and he kind of said some things that kind of offset some of the things that Ahsoka was saying. But I like this episode. It wasn't as action-packed as we have grown accustomed to, but it moved the story along. These last 2 episodes moved the story along. So now we kind of see this whole new troopers, which I got my theory on about those troopers. And we also see Thrawn and then the Night Witches. And then it answered a big question for me is like, how in the heck did she know where Thrawn was at? This episode tells you how she knew where he was at, because the witches can communicate with their witch powers or witchcraft telepathy or whatever you want to name it. So for me,
They see the future, something like that too.
yeah, but I think we actually have a conversation like dreams or something where I got it. Like they gave her a dream or something.
Yeah.
But it's not quite. I don't think it's more accurate because now they saw somebody coming, and I don't know if they think it's Ahsoka. I think they kind of suspect, but I don't know if they know for certain. But Thrawn with his deductive abilities, he done figured it out. So
The Nightsisters are tied in with the Force. The difference is that they more try to manipulate the Force using visions and stuff, trying to move things to their favor many times. But I'm sure we're going to hear somewhere in here that, you know, the reason why Dathomiri and all that was destroyed was because they didn't, I guess, project it right or something. But, yeah, sorry.
No, okay, go ahead. Danny?
I'm here. I'm finished.
Okay, go ahead, Chris.
Me, I like this episode. I'm a fan of the Nightsisters and all that. I think it's a cool thing that we haven't seen yet. So it's really nice to see them using them the way they are. I definitely think there's more to it than what we're seeing right now. But I was really happy with the way they did it. Much like Danny said, you know, they could have done at the very end. Thrawn shows up, and then she somehow had escaped, or Sabina escaped, and then she just runs into Ezra somehow, or they could have done it right at the end, like a cliffhanger, like Danny said, and they didn't. They actually both had they had speaking parts. Thrawn had more. I liked that. So, but I think they did a really good job with this. And like Danny said, it's still moving forward. The narrative of this show is still moving forward.
Absolutely. 100%. Warren.
This was the best episode for me, honestly.
Wow.
So is your mic working right?
Is it? Yeah, I think so.
Why? Well, this is the best episode.
It don't sound like your regular mic. It sound like maybe your headphone mic or something.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, this was the best episode for me. I think that Baylan, Skoll, and Thrawn. Well, one, I like the fact that they focused. Danny alluded they focused on Thrawn because he's the main baddie, right? Eventually, and I like that they used the same actor. That's awesome. That Filoni did that because he could have definitely went with someone else. There's definitely more, but to me, this is what Disney's design of leading a show into a movie should have been with all their other series. If once that Thrawn movie comes out, I can say, you know what, I can watch this all the way through, watch the Thrawn movie, and I would say this was a good series at the end. I'm starting to like the series now, but this to me, the dialogue was really good. It was very what's the word, eerie, but threatening, but that's what I got. There's still more to list, but this was the best episode for me, personally. I think Baylan and Thrawn, both actors, they're definitely going to carry this series the way that they command the screen when they're on. That's me personally.
So you tell me that you were threatened and scared and felt eerie by the snail people?
Not the snail. What the? No.
I'm just saying what your words said. You said this episode was eerie.
No,
and scared.
okay. Well, I mean, when you heard them chanting Thrawn, and then you saw the soldiers, you're like, okay, they look all cracked, and I forgot the Japanese term, what it's called when you mold gold to your broken thing. That looked frightening. Captain Enoch looked kind of like something out of some voodoo thing, if you think about it, the way it looked. So it was a very mystifying with the Dathomiri, the sisters.
He had that Zack Snyder look, some of those masks like he had in the 300.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. But I don't want to go too much. But yes, this is a positive for me. I know, crazy. I know, guys, crazy.
I can't believe it. Clip this.
Facts.
Hey, Warren. Really quick, before we go much further, really quick though, Warren, do me a favor. I need you to go get an ice pack, tape it to your head, and go check a thermometer. I need you to check your temperature, please. I think you're getting sick.
Oh, I think he's sick
you're making some sense now.
Oh wow!
Either this is setup. You got about to do the okie doke.
It's not a setup.
You gonna set up, then we with the negatives. It's gonna be like a list, long as your arm.
Yeah.
Brian, overall,
I'm worried.
What?
Because no, it's not bad, not as bad, but they're opening something up. Like you see it coming. You see what's going. That this is going to get really, really big, and they're not going to finish it this series. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm seeing coming down the chute is going to be huge, and I don't think it's going to end here. And how are you going to do it without Baylan? Because what Baylan keeps on saying is like, I'm getting drawn. I'm looking for something. They don't understand the power that this place has. Things like that are those words are really huge. Why is he there? He's now on the same mission as everyone else. And there's some things that looks like they're going to open up because we already talked about the brother and the sister and father and all that stuff. So they're opening something that's not going to finish in a second. So like, I just wish if you're going to do this, they did it in 4 and not in 6 because now we only got 2 episodes left. That worries me. I also don't like exactly how Ezra was showing up. I thought that was kind of. I mean, you can explain it away because he talks to animals a lot, you know. But it's just there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and I guess if you're setting up the movie and the big bad is going to be something, you know, chaotic, this is good. But if you don't follow through with this could be bad. So.
Yeah. Hey, Brian. Well, sorry. I was gonna, to your point about something bigger or whatever. It seems to me now that we found Thrawn and he's on this Dathomirian planet where the Nightsisters were and stuff like that. That can't be coincidence.
No, it can't. We're going to get her. it's going to happen. Like.
Exactly. And I am like, I thought that the whole time. Like, they didn't just pop in there. That was, again, he may not have determined it right away, but if the Nightsisters kind of summoned him there, which I think we might get into. Yeah, you and I think, are seeing a lot of the same things.
And that's why I worry. I wish it would be you give me 2 more episodes of this because you can't finish this because I hate the hurry up and finish, the hurry up and wrap up. When you do something that's this epic, this could be epic. This could be great for Star Wars.
I don't know. They may not. They might do a second season, or they may just wait for the movie to really let it go.
Yeah, either way, this Riders thing is gonna.
It's gonna hold it back.
It's gonna hold it back.
That means you're not going to be able to
lose some of its momentum.
Exactly. You're not going to be scrapping the iron's hot. And this is just a lot of stuff going on. That's all.
Well, supposedly they're hammering out a deal, right? So a 3-year deal is about to be hammered out. So hopefully we get that taken care of.
From what I've heard, the writers are all but on board now. So now they'll have to go get the actors probably, but I think that'll be easier. I think they'll sign it with the writers here by like the next couple days, and they'll get them started on writing the scripts and stuff and so they can be ready to go. But I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
No, everything you're saying is exactly what it is, and something's calling to Baylan, and as I'm saying, that's something that's going to be huge going forward. And why am I getting in 6, 9, and 4? That's all.
Yeah, I feel you. JG?
This is probably the most intriguing episode of the season for me. They threw in so many Easter eggs within it that with 2 episodes left, like Brian and Chris was saying, I don't think they're going to finish. Our question aren't going to be answered this season.
Yep.
I think it's going to be set up for the movie, like you guys said, or maybe a Ahsoka season 2 or something like that. I don't know, but it's just you're leaving too much on the table to where the next 2 episodes will be rushed and it'll be very disappointing. I thought it was a very cute episode, the little turtle insect looking creatures or whatever. Reminded me of Return of the Jedi with Leia and those little
Ewoks.
Right when she's in a fight, Ewok come on, you're scared, feed him some food, all of a sudden takes him to the village. It kind of reminded me of that. It was cool seeing Thrawn. It was cool seeing Ezra. And it was funny because Filoni in an interview was asked, where's Ezra? Before the season started, he says far, far away. And this episode was called Far, Far Away. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, that's a good call. I like that.
Yeah.
I think they're going to see 3 factions forming. Because I think Thrawn and what's their face, they're going to have their own thing. Baylan and what's the name going to have their thing.
Yeah.
Ezra, Sabine, Ahsoka going to have their thing. Because I think you see 3 different factions forming. Everyone has different goals in mind. And Baylan saying enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of gets me. Because I got a feeling they're going to team up with Ahsoka. To stop Thrawn or whatever he's going to do. Because he's going to be like this fence to stop Baylan from getting where he needs to go. So I think he's going to have to join Ahsoka just to stop him. That obsidian ring I keep seeing on Twitter a lot and other things. That's interesting as well. So this is, like I said, this is a very intriguing episode. I don't think it's the best, but I think it's a great setup. But with only 2 episodes left, I think they might drop the ball.
I got you.
Man, me and JG are right on. That's exactly what.
There's 2 episodes left. They're leaving too much on the table right now.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Boken Jedi. The Boken Jedi. That's another thing thrown in there too.
Huge.
So yeah, this season should have been at least 10 to 12 episodes because this is too much left on the table.
Or it's just possibly they could be doing a second season.
Yeah, but then I have to wait, and once again, you don't want to wait too long. Right now, this is Star Wars is hot right now. They're doing some good stuff. The storylines are amazing, but when it's that good and you're not going to finish and you're not going to really hit on this, that's a worry. Because we have too many obstacles coming up, and they opened up 3 big, huge things. And if they even mention Aboleth, then whoa, we're in for a ride.
Well, remember this was the whole. You got to remember, Mando kind of hinted it with the Shadow Council and Thrawn. So Mando's gonna continue this. It won't continue per se Ahsoka's stuff, but it's going to continue the whole Shadow Council and Project Necromancer and all that stuff. So yes, it's not going to continue Ahsoka, but we're still because Mando is supposed to is eventually supposed to team up with them at some point. So
agreed, and they're gonna do it in the movie too, and that's definitely gonna happen. But you're bringing not just Thrawn as the big bad. If they're doing what I think they're doing with Baylan, the big bad is epic bad. Like this is other level bad. Like I don't know if you're ready for that. And this you introduce it in this episode in this show without fleshing it out. And if you flesh it out too much, there's still only 2 episodes. And we're not gonna get enough Ezra and Thrawn. So, like, no matter what you do, you're going to run out of time. Unless they just leave it alone. And then we'll come back to this later. And we're just going to let Baylan be. But without the actor there, how can you do that? Just too many questions. I'm all for recast.
That's my part. So for me, I watched this episode again, and I was like, you know what? Take away the Thrawn stuff, and you know what I mean? It's kind of a boring episode, to be honest with you. Like, I just was like watching it again. I was like, you know what? Not feeling it. I didn't really like it as much as I did the first time I watched it. And even the first time I watched it, I felt it was kind of slow overall. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got some little Easter eggs, and we got to see Thrawn, we got to see Ezra. But like you guys said, there's 2 episodes left, and what I think would have made it better is if they had mixed this episode with the last episode, like I said they should have done. And then that way you could have had 2 more episodes to, settle everything out, right? But no, they decided to give us 1 episode of Ahsoka and then 1 of Sabine, which I was like, yeah, I think they could have done that a little bit better. That's my only issue with that. But overall, it wasn't a bad episode. I didn't hate it. I just found it a little boring the second time I watched it.
You're turning to the dark side. Well done, my apprentice.
I know. I don't like this. You know what I mean? Everybody,
good.
Even fucking Warren said he liked the episode, and I'm here the only one saying, yeah, it's kind of boring. It kind of sucks. You know what I mean? But I think Warren is rubbing off. I'm gonna have to stop inviting him on my streams. Trust me. Don't like that at all. But we're gonna get into the negatives. So
before we do that, can you give me add a little dandelion fluff?
Sure. Which one? This one?
Yeah. I think that if they have an important role for a character, they should recast Baylan.
Oh Lord, here we go.
That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying when you have an important role and it really means something to have to take the story forward, you probably should recast that character. You shouldn't just get rid of the character and throw him out the door.
They did recast the character.
They just didn't like the way it was done, Danny. That's all.
T'Challa has been recast. I don't know why y'all tripping.
I didn't even bring T'Challa in, and I didn't want to go there. But
everybody else, ain't nobody else stressed about that, except a few Black Panther fans. They did it at the end. They recast him to his son. I have zero problems with that. And the same way, and I'm gonna tell you how they can do it. The same way we saw Aquaman. You see a trailer now. It's been 4 years. He's married, got a boy, a son, all this kind of stuff. They can fast forward that into the next phase,
I can
and he could be
go
a
on a
young
rant
T'Challa.
and rage right now, but let's just keep this show
You
going
go
because
right
I was
ahead.
taking off. I'll take it right off the rails with
You
this
go right ahead.
stuff, and it'll be all over. People like Ahsoka, what?
Those are the positives. Oh, I got. The only other thing I had to say was I like the fact that we're not in the main galaxy.
Overall.
That was the overall. Okay.
Yeah. You're a little ahead of yourself there, Warren. You see, you're ready to give this episode positive vibes because you've been giving it shit the whole series,
It's
and
not.
now you can't even fucking wait. Like, no, I got to say good stuff now. Good stuff, guys. But we are gonna get into our positives, and I'll let Joey G start it off on the other end.
Joey G, let's go. Positives, like I said, the Easter eggs, I thought it was brilliantly done. I love seeing the, I guess they're ghost stormtroopers, or whatever those things were called. I'm bad with names, sorry everybody, but those are cool to see. The uniforms they had on, the helmets, the facial thing. It was very cool to see. I don't know, this felt so much like a filler that I can't really take too many positives or negatives because it was like it was just there. The episode was just there, right? And so,
like, it's hard to say it's a filler when we got so much information, but certain parts it felt like it. You know what I mean? Like that whole scene where she's going to look for Ahsoka or look for Ezra. I was just like, okay, no, I'm good.
If we had not seen Thrawn and Ezra, I would agree it's a filler. Had we just gone to that planet, see the Night Witches, and they have a conversation. Balin did what he did, but we get no Ezra, we get no Thrawn, I would agree this is a filler. But those two alone, I think, moves the needle past filler.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think because we got that, it's not really filler, but it felt like a filler episode. You know what I mean?
It had filler traits.
Yeah, that filler. Anything else, JJ?
Yeah, it's cool seeing the Night Witches because now I'm wondering, do they have their own agenda? Because they can manipulate the Force. So what are they trying to do? It's just so much agenda based as far as different factions where everybody's trying to have their own goal. And so I'm sorry, man. Besides the Easter eggs and seeing Thrawn and Ezra, it really isn't too many positives for me.
Wow.
Yeah, there's really not much other than that in this episode, to be honest with you.
Welcome to the dark side, my brother.
I've been a Sith Lord for years.
Brian, what about you?
I actually see everything that I said was my problem in the beginning. Still, I'm happy they gave us this information. I'm happy with the storyline they're setting up. I think it's huge and it's a great storyline to tell. But if you don't do it right and you give me a crappy ending, it doesn't matter what you did at the beginning. So that's my problem, But as far as what they actually did and the stuff they're saying and the way they're setting it up, and obviously Filoni's knowledge of what he wants to do, and then Wes Chapman being Captain Enoch is off the chain. Because I don't know if you guys ever saw The Expanse. He's amazing, and I love seeing him in this. Everything they're doing is fine. I just worry about they're doing too much. When you do too much and you can't stick the landing, this becomes a problem. And then once again, we're gonna have another show where they started off good, and then they gave us so much information, and now it's not even a cliffhanger if you can't get all that out. Like there's a lot of stuff. Unless you're gonna give me 50 minutes and then like a 60-minute episode, I don't know how the hell you're gonna do it. But it is what it is. But as far as that, those are still good things. They're not giving us bad information. They're not giving us bad dialogue. Everything is good. It's just this one was a little bit less action. Obviously, the name of the show was Ahsoka, and we ain't getting no Ahsoka, but it still was fine, So it's okay.
I'm right there with you, Warren.
So we get a couple things. We get Captain Enoch. We get the reference of what's out there, which is like Brian hinted was the Abeloth. I like that we're in a different galaxy. We've always been in the main galaxy. The only time we haven't was in the sequels when they went to Exegol and all that stuff. So I think we're gonna be around in this galaxy for a little bit, which is unknown for Star Wars fans, honestly. Balon is playing the long game, and I was really curious about that whole cycle what he's breaking, and he's right because It's a cycle, and I'd like to see how that cycle is going to be broken by him. Ezra clearly seems like must have been communicating with someone through the Force, so that's another interesting thing that I'm curious about. So it was nice to see him. I wasn't. Oh well, that's negatives. But Thrawn, it was great seeing Thrawn because I love Thrawn from Rebels. He's so that's why I liked the episode more than anything. The whole, and I'm a fan of magic, so this whole dark magic thing, it being involved, because for majority of Star Wars, it's been pretty techy. So to see them incorporate it and say, you know what, we're going to do something a little bit different is nice. And then the last thing was, I like that the ship looked like, you can tell the ship went through so much when in that last fight with Ezra. Like you see all the repairs. You see that this is canon. This did happen. So I'm glad that Filoni is keeping the story like that. So that's why I appreciate the episode for what it was. Since I did watch most of Rebels. So yeah, that's why I liked. I could go on more, but I don't want Danny to run out of oxygen in his tank. So I hope I'm there.
Bro, I'm good. I'm trying to get back my Twitter account. I just got it back. I was like, yes, thank you.
Mr. Knight, positives.
Chris Knight.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Just trying to get some stuff set for this trip. I got a 4-hour drive. So, anyways, a lot of that stuff right there. The Ezra stuff was all right, but I think Thrawn in his time on screen was really bold because, like Danny said, it wasn't just at the end. So they used him. He had things he was doing. Obviously, whether or not it's absolutely his plan or not, the Nightsisters are letting him control things. And I think the whole letting Sabine go, I mean, I can't imagine Sabine doesn't realize that they're following her, but we'll get past
I don't know. I
that.
think she is that stupid. I really do.
You think she's that stupid for real?
I think she's that stupid. I really don't think she thinks they're following her. She's
Well,
about,
I
you
kind
follow
of
me.
wonder. Well, and if she didn't, it's going to come up when she talks to Ezra, because Ezra's already asking questions about, hey, where'd you find this animal and stuff. It's going to come out. But the fact that Thrawn shows that is a very good move. Hey, we haven't been able to find him. She's going to find him. And even if she doesn't, who cares? Like he said, it doesn't really matter to him, but it's a bonus if she does. Because in his mind, she finds him, he destroys both of them, and he gets what he wants. So that's an actual really strategic move, and Thrawn's supposed to be a very good strategist. So I do think that's a plus side to the character in live action. So that was good that they added that type of thing in it. Again, I love seeing the Nightsisters and all that, and that they have something going on about this, and everything they're building up to, man. I like so watching the little bit that Ahsoka's in this. It's kind of cool seeing the hyperspace with the whales in it and all that. That's kind of cool, but I do like the stormtroopers, and yes, I think that they are. I think they're necromanced. I think that they're not alive. I'm trying to figure out. I don't remember were they on the bridge of that Star Destroyer when the whales took them?
I don't remember.
In Rebels. Yeah, see, that's the only thing I was kind of wondering about. But if that is what they were on, I'll have to go back and watch it. But if that's what they were on, then hey, that's a great move on their part. That's going to really be good. And just the attention to detail they have right now, the world building. I like it.
It's funny you said that about Thrawn. Remember, Thrawn said hey, bring me everything you have on Ahsoka as if she's coming. I need to know everything because once again, it kind of went back to Thrawn. Once he knows your background, your heritage and everything, then he knows exactly how you're going to fight. So I thought that was really cool that he called. He's like, give me everything you got, and I'll figure out all this stuff before she gets here. I'm gonna plan this stuff
Yeah, and
out.
another thing going on that, if you piggyback off the idea, let's go back to Grand Moff Tarkin. Grand Moff Tarkin said to Vader in the first Star Wars movie, he says, "You are all that, you are all that exists of the ancient religion," or whatever. Grand Moff Tarkin did not buy into the Force as much as Thrawn does. Thrawn understands some of that, and he understands in order to get to a Jedi or in order to defeat a Jedi, you do have to know a lot about them, because that's the only way, is to find a way to get in. There's a sliver somewhere, and if you get in there, because he was trying to do it with Ezra throughout the Rebels. So I like that, because like you said, that's how he is. He's calculating. And I know a lot of people say, in Rebels and other things, that he wasn't always like that. Because if you read the book, Thrawn, he is very calculating. He's very cold-hearted.
Yeah, maniacal. He is calculating. He is planning out stuff. Like, he plans out. That's why he's the greatest tactician.
He is physically fit, which he is not in this.
But that's, but it's funny though. He's not physically fit. He's still very tall. Like, he still has a commanding presence. When someone's 6'3", sometimes you could tell they're 6'3" because everyone around them is just smaller. No matter what, he had the belly, whatever. But at least,
but it's been how many years since the whole thing? I mean, he would have aged.
Yeah.
I mean, so the change in look, I don't think bothers me too much, because you can change in that time frame. But yeah, I think what's even better is that, you said, manipulative, calculating, maniacal, all of that stuff. And yet right now he seems to be under a lot of composure. And that will come back when I give you my predictions. But okay, that's basically all of them.
Gotcha. Danny.
The main thing I really liked about this was the duplicitousness between. I think Galen, he didn't tell the head night witch that he was working with. He ain't telling her all the reason why he there. So I think he knows the lore about that planet. He knows the fairy tales, and he's kind of using her like they think they're using him, but he's not as dumb as he's not as dumb as they're letting him believe. And I think Thrawn right now in this particular time is underestimating Galen. Okay. Galen come there for a reason, and then he's not playing Galen at all. When he sent Galen there, and I told Anzo when we was watching, I said, I guarantee you he'll leave Galen too. But I don't think Galen will care, because Galen knows something on that planet, and he's trying to go there to get it. And I don't even think Thrawn know about it, but I think Galen has studied and researched, and just like the Sith holocrons and the Jedi holocrons, I think Galen probably got some kind of knowledge about some kind of holocron or something, or some kind of ancient magic or something. Maybe even the Nightsisters don't even know about. I think that's what Galen's issue is.
Yeah, he knows all those stories, and he's going to use them all. You're right, Danny.
And that could be why he allowed Sabine to live. So all eyes could be on her and Ahsoka while he goes to his own thing.
Well,
Galen got an ulterior motive.
Yeah. Well, going back to talking about Filoni and his ability to understand Star Wars and how this comes across in this series, if you think about it, that's the one thing about the Empire, the dark side, and all that. Even though a Sith might be working with the Empire or anything like that, they all have their own agenda, and that's very apparent in this. They're all after something different. The Nightsisters and what's her name, the one that brought him there, I'm sorry, I forget her name right now. They have a different plan, obviously. Thrawn, he has his own plan. Baylan has his own plan. So that is very, very Star Wars. And again, that's Filoni.
Yep.
I think what Baylan is after, though, is something that, like we always say about Kevin Feige, he'll take a piece of a story, but then he'll change it up. I think what Baylan is after is something that Filoni's writing in there. based on what I'm seeing now. I just
Oh yeah.
The real big bad. That's what
Yeah.
he's after the real big bad.
yeah,
After
some
chaos.
kind of power or something. Or
Yeah.
it may be like if you watch Clone, I think last season of Clone Wars, when Sidious was getting more stronger, Yoda went on a quest by himself, and he met Darth Bane, the spirit of Darth Bane, who's like the original person that started the ruler too. So maybe Balin's doing something like that. Maybe he knows a Sith spirit or something. Now, why this Sith spirit wouldn't contact the Nightsisters or somebody else, because they seem to be on the same frequency for his evilness, I don't know. But Balin has come across something. I don't know whether it's in the Sith, in the Jedi library or whatever, but he knows something, and he's out there, and he ain't even revealed it to his daughter yet, or his Padawan, and I think she's gonna be treacherous too.
Mm-hmm. Which is everything you said, though, right? Because they talked about. So we've gotten a picture of the father. We've seen the son and the daughter. We know that they had someone watching over them. That they end up making the mother, who is Aboleth. We know that's there, and that was all discussed in all the rebels and all this stuff. So we already know this is here. And Balin and Filoni is doing a great job of wrapping everything around. And I feel like Filoni is going to open this thing up, and it's going to be so epic. And Balin is going to be the main person, and he might die himself to start something that no one is going to be able to stop.
Or maybe
and
this
what
thing
it's going to
might
do is going to
transform
create
him.
chaos.
It may transform him into somebody that may look different. That's how
I love that idea. I love that idea. But I think it's going to create chaos. And in the end, that both dark and light might have to work together to stop the chaos, because Aboleth is beyond powerful. She's beyond any power that we've seen in anything Star Wars going forward. I'm going since the beginning. We've never seen anything like this.
I just hope we don't get too far out there to kind of throw the fans off, because the Force is already crazy with some of the power and some of the things. But I think Anzo had a good point last week. He read somewhere in the article he was saying that in this universe or in the upcoming Star Wars, the Force is going to have different characteristics, I guess. Mm-hmm. So maybe this is going to be the start of the Force having maybe more different characteristics. So, that's the main thing. The main positive thing I like that. I was always feeling Balin not much as y'all, but now I see that he is pretty smart and he has an agenda. So I'm drawn more to his story than any other part of the story so far.
Did you notice that he says something about Order 66, and he talked about this thing with kind of with Anakin and he talked about his place in Order 66, and it seemed like that story is going to be more fleshed out, and we're going to find out more about Balin and why he's done what he's done and what he's really thinking. They mentioned it like in passing and never really fleshed it out. I feel like that's going to be very big.
I think he witnessed Anakin from afar. He just couldn't do it. Couldn't do nothing to do it because at the time he wasn't strong enough. I think he witnessed Order 66 from a different viewpoint that we ain't seen yet.
He's only 3 years younger than him. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that we get the Gray Jedi.
Oh, stop it. Stop it.
You're going to have Robert Storm have a heart attack.
He
texted me last Sunday during this stream. There is no Gray Jedi, Danny. There is no Gray Jedi. So I know you're probably watching.
Listen, if there wasn't a name for the sun, it's still going to be the sun. It doesn't matter what the name is. There is a Gray Jedi out there.
It won't bother me at all. I'm just saying.
I know, but
right now, there's no indication of one. But it wouldn't bother me a bit if they said this is the first Gray Jedi or whatever, purple Gray Jedi, orange. I don't care as long as it's good.
Well, if they bring them in, then it's canon. But let's just say if they bring it in, then the Gray Jedi had just started now. It's not like there's always been Gray Jedi. You see, guys, that's what people say. You see, guys, there's always been Gray Jedi. We told you. You know what I mean? So, let's just be real. If they bring them in now, then they brought them in. It's not like there was always Gray Jedi. For me, my
always Gray Jedi.
No, there's not. My positives for this is the first half of this episode. The minute we get to, and I'm glad they didn't rush it out too, because I'm kind of worried. I'm like, I hope we don't have this whole big dialogue while they're traveling to the planet and nothing really happens. But no, they get to the planet and boom, we get to see Thrawn. and I love the way those, and I'm gonna call them the Death Troopers because that's what I heard they
Mm.
were. I heard
Hmm.
they were actually dead, so I heard they were the Death Troopers. The way
Hmm.
they look was cool. I like the one with the gold face. I thought that was cool.
Captain
Um,
Enoch.
Captain Eno, yeah, he looked serious, you know. Um, Other than that, what else did I? Thrawn. I mean, he was. I guess it was good to see Thrawn, but like Danny said, kind of chubby there in there, and kind of looked weird at some points. Especially the way. Like I didn't think. Okay, I understand. Maybe he. I guess you get this actor that's not really a fit actor, but I don't think that uniform was really flattering at all. It just didn't look good on him. But I thought he looked. Thawne was good. Seeing Ezra at the end. I, well, we'll get into that negative too. But at least we got to see them now. So now we can get on to the story because I feel like I don't know. I have a feeling that someone is gonna get trapped in that universe, or they're gonna have to like really fight to get back onto that ship to get back, right? Because I don't think you can use the whales again. So I don't know. But, the dialogue was great. I like the way Thrawn was like, oh, you brought this Jedi here, and he had questions at Balin. He wasn't sure after he said that, like, you're part of the Jedi Order, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it just showed that he didn't really trust Balin at that point. Then when he was like, yeah, well, if they don't make it back and we leave them, we leave them. So I thought that stuff was good. Then when we get to the negatives, it'll go to the second half of the episode. But like I said, the first half was really good. It's just the second half was what I got all my negatives on.
Yeah, I do too.
So Danny, you start off with yours.
I did not like the way Thrawn looked because I read the books. I seen him in Rebels. He always had himself physically fit. He always practiced. If I'm not mistaken, even on. I'm not saying he couldn't be a badass for as a martial artist because we seen, the Chinese movies, some of the masters look kind of like me, Dad bods. But in Star Wars, I expect to see a certain level of fitness or a certain look, like superheroes. You don't expect that. And I made the same thing about a boy in Black Panther. I was like, because Namor, when you see Namor, he's chiseled like a rock. And I know some say, "Damn, you body shaming." I'm just being attention to detail. I did not like the way he looked. Yeah, the voice was cool and get out the back, but they could have got somebody that looked more the part. Because we always see Thrawn in the pictures and the images that I've seen him, he looked physically imposing. He did not look physically imposing to me. 6'3", 6'5", 6'7", whatever. That Thrawn that I saw did not look physically imposing. The makeup seemed a little bit off to me, and the hair. I
The
think
hair.
I don't think they did a lot of. They could have put a little more money in his look and refined his look some. I did not like that. The fact that Thrawn couldn't find Ezra all those years, and then Sabine was on the planet like a whole 30 minutes. She was able to find him, and that rat-looking horse thing sniff him out. I mean, to tell them they couldn't sniff him out all them years they've been there, or the Nightsisters couldn't use their powers because as soon as Sabine stepped on the planet, and her force level is almost zero, they could smell or sense she had a power. So they couldn't sense somebody as powerful as Ezra on this planet with their magic. Didn't make sense to me. Um, as silly as Sabine is, I mean, she didn't seem Mandalorian. You're not the Mandalorians that I've seen aren't gullible. They don't
No,
fall
they're
for
not.
stuff. But
Yep.
man, she is
She
the
is
most gullible
so silly.
Mandalorian I've
Oh,
ever seen in my life. I mean, she'll fall for anything. I thought we had a deal. I thought we had a deal. Really? I thought she's really, really gullible. And I don't like the fact that, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bear, Chris, that actually watch all Rebels, if I'm not mistaken. There was not a love interest. It was the other way around. Ezra
yeah.
kind of loved
He was
her,
chasing her,
but she
and
was
then
never chasing him.
exactly. And then
Now
as it
she's
started to end, she started like to form up to it,
maybe,
and
but
now she's
now,
like all over. I'm
but
like,
now
oh,
she
dude.
like sprung, and I don't like that. Um, and the snail people, I did not like. I did not like the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. I did not like the snail people on there. When I was watching, I was like, this is unneeded. They could have cut that out. They could have cut that out. They could have cut out the thing where she was mad with the rat horse, leaving her behind and stuff. They could have spent more time in the choreography of the fight scene because it had some good parts to it. I like the way they kind of incorporated the Mandalorian fight style with Jedi lightsaber. It was kind of cool, but the choreography to me was just a little bit slow. You know, I've always harped on that. When Anakin was on there, it picked up. They need to me, if I would go back and say, look, y'all need to practice a little bit more. You need to speed this up, or either speed up on camera, use the camera to speed it up, do something. At that young age, you should not be fighting like any of what me at 53 years old fighting. No, I want to see a 23-year-old version fighting and kicking ass and flipping.
Wait a minute, Count Dooku was pretty fast for his. He was like 70 something. He was
okay. So if they can do it back then, they need to do it now. Don't slow it down now. When we watch the sequels, what's his face? God, the girl we don't like. Ray and what's his face? I hate their fight scenes. It was so. Oh my god, this is so slow. This is so. Oh my goodness.
It wasn't just the slowness; it was just the stupidness.
I don't like how slow. If it's slow, at least do like Zack Snyder, where we see some kind of devastating move, like we see on Mortal Kombat. When they slow it down, you see some devastating move. When you fighting slow, just to try to make the action seem more authentic or whatever word you want to use. When her and Kylo Ren was fighting, I could almost go to sleep on that. So that's just my nitpick with Star Wars. We want to see Star Wars now. You want to see the Sith, the Force users, the Jedi, whoever, at their peak, especially being this young age. And that's always been my gripe. It's going to be my gripe until they get it up, or either I just got to deal with it. But those are my negatives.
I got you. Mr. Knight?
I won't disagree with Danny on the fighting when she was doing the hand-to-hand stuff. It felt clunky. I won't say slow. It felt clunky for a Mandalorian. I would have expected more crisp moves and stuff. I mean, it looked like a Mandalorian. It just looked like a Mandalorian, like with like about 16 frames per second removed every once in a while. Because when you remove frames per second, it starts looking a little choppy. That's kind of what it looked like. The lightsaber part, okay. I mean, I won't disagree with Danny on that. But I will kind of go back to what I said about Thrawn. It didn't bother me too much. I get what Danny's saying. He does not look physically imposing, and he's right. But how many years has it been? I mean, that's kind of one of the things we got to remember. I don't know. I mean, and again,
look at Galen. Galen looks just as old as he does, and Galen looked physically imposing.
Yeah.
Okay, but
he's been practicing.
But let me go back to saying, when I do my predictions, I will answer why it doesn't bother me as much. Also, the turtle snail people thing, like, yeah. I mean, so far we haven't really had anything too kiddie, and then they throw that in, and it's like, okay, well.
Yeah, I meant to say that too, Chris. That those snail people, that is nothing but marketing. Yeah, I guarantee we see them on toys this Christmas.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to that means to an end thing. Ezra found them great. To your point, Danny, of the Nightsisters not being able to figure out where Ezra is because of his Jedi power. Well, again, obviously during the time of exile and them being hunted down, even Obi-Wan cut himself off from the Force. And I constantly go back to, if that is your survival mode, maybe he had to do the same thing. Maybe he is trying to cut himself off from the Force because he knows that's how they can find him. Now, I'm not saying that's an answer, and I'm not saying that's true, but that could be an explanation.
I understand what you're saying, and that makes sense. Had not the rat horse sniffed him out.
Well, he didn't sniff him out. He sniffed the snail person out. Then she sees the rebel symbol, and then she says something about Ezra, and he says yes, and they follow it there, and then he's there. So that thing did not sniff out Ezra. It sniffed out the snail person. Now, granted,
that's still very coincidence.
Well, that's what. Yeah, I am not discounting what you're saying. Yeah, exactly, it is. But I'm not discounting what you're saying. If that animal could have done it, why weren't they sending those animals out the whole time and following them? I mean, they're right there, right? Mm-hmm. But then again, they also kind of answered that when he said our numbers are not what they were. and he knows there's outlanders out there. There's marauders and stuff, and perhaps we will see that these dead troopers are not as, and I'm going to say this and it sounds kind of contradictory, they're not as agile as normal stormtroopers, if that makes any sense. Stormtroopers can still move around.
I don't think they're alive.
Well,
probably
we'll,
not.
we'll have to see. We'll have to see what. But so there could be some answers. Like he said, he's not willing to send them out to search for Ezra, possibly because maybe they did, and maybe they lost a lot of them because of the marauders and stuff. And so there could be a lot of that going on. But Ezra, the part with Ezra, I mean, they spent like maybe 5 minutes on it, and it was just basically like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, doing all right. So, took you a while to get here, didn't it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's hug and smile at each other a bunch and not really say anything that makes any sense." Wait a minute. You did a lot with Thrawn. You couldn't have brought Ezra in to help fight the Marauders or something? I mean, there was so much they could have done so much more with him. But he was in it. It wasn't just a last second thing, so yeah, hey. But yeah, so yeah.
All right, Warren, you're up.
So here's my negatives. One, the problem I have is like the Nightsisters. You're telling me that they don't know like what's going on with the like. Oh, the Ahsoka's coming. Like they didn't see that she was still alive, even when like she went into did the world between worlds just take her off the threads. That kind of really throws me off that they didn't realize that she came out of that alive. Another thing was how again Sabine Wren and Shin Hati they come off as brats to me this entire thing. Like I just personally I don't wish they were in this series. They're very annoying. They're not characters I care for at all. I mean I like Sabine. It's one of those things where I like Sabine in Rebels. I don't like Sabine in this show. That's just that's just period point blank.
I agree.
Sorry about that. The other
She's
thing
very gullible.
The other thing is the Thrawn thing I could understand, but I let that pass because they wanted to keep the voice actor, and it had been weird with a different guy. So that's a little nitpick there, but I understand because the voice actor from the show was very good. Then the whole Ezra thing, what bothered me was it could have been a better build up into like meeting him. It just seems so easy. Now I'm not saying that you're not supposed to meet up with Ezra because you've seen Thrawn, but like it just came too easy. Not like normally you get like okay you have to go through a mountain or a cave or he rescue you or so. It just I don't know. And then he's like, oh, he doesn't like question her. I'm like, okay, and he doesn't even say. They don't even do like a little. Maybe next episode they will. Maybe it's a nitpick. They don't do a little flashback of like, hey, like I can't tell you what I've been through. He's been like, I'm Buddhist. My life is chill. Zen moment. Smoking the hookah. That's what it seems like. He doesn't seem unhappy. Yeah. But I'm sorry, but Ezra doesn't seem unhappy. He seems like he's at peace. He's not like, oh, I've been miserable. Maybe that's his way of communicate. Maybe he used the Force to communicate, but he doesn't seem unhappy. Like if Sabine had done what Ahsoka said and he was stuck there, he would have been. It seems like he would have been cool exiles. That's what I get. So to me, that to me seems like a problem right there. And then the last thing was mostly like.
It's like he's making a good out of a bad situation.
I mean, I get it, but when you see someone, you would want to say, "Hey, this is what I've been through. I can't tell you what I've had to deal with. Like it's been so long, or like what I had to do in order to just get through this entire thing." He's like, "Yep, I'm chilling. I'm just smoking ganja and I'm doing great right now." Like, what? Rub me well. And I think, like I said, the Nightsisters, I think they're hiding something. I mean, maybe that's a nitpick by me, but I think there's more to them than meets the eye. They say dark magic, but they don't explain what they did. What they did to. I'm trying to figure out. He's Thrawn at the end said, "I need your dark magic again." So then they must have been communicating, but we don't know how they communicated it with him from the get go. Then, because he said, "I needed it again." So that was a question mark that let me go, and that was basically it. It's like, how did he communicate with them before if he's been so far away and they've been so far away from him? If you get where I'm coming from, that was it.
I'm telling you, that army or some of them is dead. There ain't no doubt.
Yeah, I
about
agree
that.
that. Yeah,
No,
I
that
think
that
there's
army is undead, but I think they're called shadow troopers. That's what they're being called.
That's to me what makes sense about that Inquisitor. Why was the Inquisitor with her?
right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And not only that, the way he died and disappeared like
Yeah,
that.
into that green mist. That's that green
Yeah.
mist, that night witch magic.
Absolutely, 100%. And I think those clone troopers are the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, the thing I did read, it did say that the clone troopers were going to be undead. You said we're going to see the Force used in ways that we haven't seen before in this galaxy. So if they do
Arcane.
that, yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do any of that stuff. Brian, you're up.
All right. I kind of went through a lot of my little gripes, whatever, but I have some more, especially with Sabine. Sabine, it just seems to be so stupid. I mean, literally, like you're not thinking one step ahead of yourself. Like you're not trying to put things together. And then I understand what's going on. So the animal, Ezra's been communicating with the animals. That's what's going on. Ezra has that ability. That's his special thing as far as Star Wars. He communicates with animals. He obviously communicating that rat horse thing, which was real weird. And then those crab turtle things, which is really crazy. But he communicates with them. So he's able to speak to them, and that's what keeps him sane. After 10 years of me not seeing anybody, now I know my reception, like the way I'm going to greet them, would be epic. And he was just like, "Hey, what's up over there? How you doing? I've been sitting here by the lake for like 15 minutes. It's cool." No, it's been 10 years. And then the fact that you don't have a plan, you haven't thought things out, you haven't gone through every cycle of what should you had this great plan to get Thrawn over there, and you didn't. If they do come, I'm going to do this, and this, and I'm going to share. And then if that's the case, the first thing you do is, Sabine, so how'd you get here? What's the plan? What are we going to do? Because I've been on vacation for 10 years. I'm not trying to stay here for another 5 minutes. Let's figure stuff out. It doesn't make sense for the character's development. It just really didn't make sense at all.
He said, "I'm ready to go home."
Yeah, but then let's go. Let's talk about something. Not like, "Hey, how you doing? Let me show you to these people. Let me show you my house." No. All right, come on. Let's talk this thing out. Let's get this. What's going on? What's next? Where is everybody? How did you get here? Let's figure this stuff. I just Sabine. They've taken a badass character and made her into this stupid, little girl right now. Like, and she wasn't that. She was a Mandalorian.
She's a brat.
Yeah. But she was a Mandalorian. So how did she become less Mandalorian as she grew up? Like it doesn't make it. You're supposed to mature, and they just kind of ruined this whole character for me. As far as I go with Lars Mikkelsen, him being the voice, I understand, but Mads Mikkelsen would have been a better Thrawn than Lars.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen would have been cold.
What
Like,
stops them from having? I'm sorry. What stops them from having a person portray him that looks like him and then using a voice actor? Why don't?
That's the same thing Daddy Land said in the chat.
They could do that. And then when you have Mads, I mean, they're both 6'4". They're both this, but he commands presence. So like that would have worked just fine for me too.
Well, Mads had some issues with the MCU, so I highly doubt he would have came to Star Wars.
That's true, but it didn't stop Lars.
But it's true.
His brother come. So I mean,
Bet you that issue with that check he got from doggone Doctor Strange. I bet you had no issue with that.
Yeah, that's not.
Well, that's why he said
it
after the fact.
I mean, once again, I think you're opening a lot of stuff. I think the realm of Mortis is going to come up a lot with the Nightsisters, and I think that, as I said, That's the realm where the mother, the father, and the brother, like this is where they actually inhabit it. They're actually there, and that Balin's going to release her from Mortis. That's where he's going. He's not going to anywhere else. He's on his own agenda. He's going to release her.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't think they're gonna dabble too much in that because they're really not dabbling a lot in. They could. I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying that they won't. I'm just saying I think they're trying to there. I think they're trying to stay away from that world between worlds too much that we actually saw on Rebels. Because I don't know if that's gonna turn fans on or off. I think would turn fans more off than on because Star Wars is more scientific based than magic based. When they start getting that magic, I think it's going to turn some fans off.
But you don't have to explain it. You show Balin releasing something, and in the process dying from releasing something, and that something does something to it. But once again, it's a lot. So if they did do that, that's a problem. So back to my same negative with that whole, you have, as you said, the technical side along with this mystic side, and mixing them, the two is kind of problematic. And I really agree with Anzo. Like I was at times like I'm into Star Wars, so I was good with it. But there are times where I was just like, okay, I was looking at my watch like, okay, what's going on? Let's get the hell on. Let's hurry up. Like it was just kind of dragging. Yeah. And no one really wanted to see all the stuff that Sabine was going through, and they ended it stupidly. So those are my bads.
I agree. Chris, you said you wanted to go with your grades and predictions since you got to bounce soon.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a passenger coming in really soon. All right, grade. I give it a B+ because it isn't as good as it could have been, and there were some issues. The stale people, the Ezra stuff wasn't as good as it could have been, but nothing too egregious. My predictions. I'm wondering if Thrawn isn't also being controlled by the Nightsisters, and maybe he's dead because the look of him, frumpy and stuff like that. What if he's bloated? What if he's dead and they're keeping him alive because he is an image that the one Nightsister that they got to come there was looking for Thrawn? And so I kind of wonder if they're not all being controlled. And while he seems to be getting what he wants from them and they're letting him run things, maybe that's because they're in control of him and it just looks like that. Maybe he's just a puppet there, and because he's an image and they know what he means to these people looking for him. So that's kind of why the look doesn't bother me right now. Now I'm probably wrong and it's probably not going to work out that way, but hey, that's my biggest issue right there. And then also, Brian, what you're saying, we both know where it's going. They're going to release.
Yeah, they're going to
release. Chris, that theory makes sense.
There's a reason why they ended up on a Dathomiri planet.
If they did go that route, that would make sense. And if they did go that route, you're saying, and Thrawn is dead, that could cause this whole thing to end in 2 series because it'd be kind of like a what if episode. Like it's not the known canon that we know, but it's maybe a different. So that could do that. I don't know if I don't think fans will like that.
No, people.
But if they want the what if it, then that'd be a perfect way to do it.
Yeah. All right, guys, I got to jump, but I will talk to you guys next week. Okay.
All right, bro.
Take care.
JG,
you're up.
Yeah. You guys remember Force Awakens when we saw BPA?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you saw BPA toys all over the place, and that's what this episode, a lot of it was like to me. Those snail, turtle, insect, whatever those creatures are, mark my words, you're going to see kids at Disney World wearing those outfits. You're going to see clothes. You're going to see
Halloween
toys. You're going to see people in that little horse rat looking thing or whatever dressed up. I mean, this show was a marketing tool, if anything else. Again, it felt like filler, but it wasn't a filler. Right? It felt like I can get up in the middle of it, come back, and not miss anything.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was about 40-something minutes, it felt like 15 because only 15 minutes of actually was really interesting.
Yeah.
Right? And let's see, with those Death Troopers, Shadow Troop, whatever they're called, if you notice, a lot of them had that fabric, almost like it was holding them together. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking that's the nicest fabric to keep the dark magic within them, keep them alive. That's what I'm really thinking that is. I don't know if
That'd be
anybody.
interesting.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I definitely
Look, I don't know about any of you guys, but if there's a girl I liked and seeing her in I don't know how many years she pops up, I'm gonna be excited as hell.
Yeah,
to
something
see
else
her.
gonna pop up, huh?
Exactly.
You
Something else
know?
hey. Yeah, I see. I got this beard now, baby. You see this? Yeah, I'm a grown man now. You know, kind of thing going on. It felt like it just felt. It feels like there's
bad
something else
acting.
going. Yeah,
It
feels
felt like bad acting.
It feels like there's something else going on with Ezra, right? Because he's like, I've been waiting on you to show up. Like, excitement on nothing. It's maybe just my mind messing with me, but it feels like there's another storyline in there somewhere where Ezra may be trying to side with somebody else, because it makes no sense that the Nightsisters are there. They don't know where the hell he is. But Sabine was able to find him that quickly.
It almost seems like a trap, right? It almost seems like Thrawn put him out there to send Sabine for not just to get rid of her and to get all these other people out so he can finish what he was doing, preparing for or whatever. So he's basically in cahoots with Ezra. And so all that time when you guys talk about Ezra being evil, maybe that's part of the story. That would end the story quickly in 2 episodes too.
That'd be interesting.
It's just this episode felt like it wasn't needed on its own and need to be mixed with episode 5. Put those together, maybe this would be a lot better. But by itself, it's just there's a lot of misses for me. As far as Thrawn is concerned, even though he wasn't physically imposing, he had a voice that was kind of sinister and kind of shisty. Look at his eyes and everything. I think that's what they were going for. But I would have much rather the physically imposing Thrawn. The fight choreography, it just felt too choreographed. Right? It felt like somebody was cosplaying. We're going to reenact this scene right now. That's what it felt like. Say, okay, you punch, I'll kick. I kick, you punch. But it's just because I think we were spoiled by the prequels. All those fight things we saw in those prequels, we were spoiled. And so anything less than that, it's going to be a miss for me.
I've been saying that the whole roundtable long, buddy.
Sabine is kind of a dingy, ditzy, dumb.
Brat.
I don't want to use the word dumb. She's a brat, and I think her character's so busy being a Mandalorian, trying to be a Jedi,
she just
instead of
being
a Mandalorian and using some Jedi skills to expand her fighting skills. I think that's her problem. But the more I talk about it, the more negatives I have. But I'm just going to eat it right there.
It's okay. You joined the Sith. The Council of Sith is rising, all of you. I'm so proud. You don't have an idea.
Silence.
But I'm telling you, that obsidian ring that Balin's wearing is going to play a role. I think it's going to play a role because
You see what I'm doing, Anzo?
The hell was that?
That's me in Byron's house, and I'm 4-stroking Warren now.
Wow.
Hello, Anzo.
My bad. I was muted. I was talking. I was muted. Yeah, for me, my negatives are the second half. Like I said, I think it dragged on a bit. Like, I didn't care for all of that Sabine with that dog rat or whatever. Like, oh, you left me, and
that's a red horse, bro.
It was kind of funny though. I'm not gonna lie. It was
a rat horse wolf or something like that. I was like, what the hell is this? It's ugly. That's what it is.
So I was like, okay, whatever for this part. And then you get to the little creatures, and it's like, where's Ezra? Where's Ezra? And I just find like all of that stuff you could have maybe cut off a lot of it, give us more stuff that we would have been more interested in, or like I said, mix this episode with last episode. Instead of having them search for Ahsoka, you could have put the hint that they were, and then cut between this episode and last episode. And then when you cut back to the Ahsoka, it's like, hey, we found Ahsoka, you know? And you could have a little bit of cuts where he's like, oh, I can hear it in the water to show how to find it. They could have mixed them. I think these 2 episodes could have been mixed together. And that's, again, another thing, too. It's like we're watching Ahsoka, but it's like, okay, a whole episode, and we got Sabine. We only have 8 episodes. Had a little bit of an issue with that there. Um, the reveal with Ezra at the end was very underwhelming, right? I was just like, okay, whatever. He didn't seem like. And okay, so he says, "Oh, what took you so long?" Like, how the fuck were they supposed to find you? How the hell are they supposed to know where you were? Why are you asking him what took so long?
Yeah,
Maybe
but
he was joking in that kind of way, like, "Hey, what took you so long?" You know what I mean? But he didn't seem shocked that she was there or anything. So it seemed like he was actually waiting for them to find her. How the fuck were you supposed? You know what I mean? You went to another galaxy. You could have went anywhere, right? Because there's multiple galaxies, but you expected them to find you.
Yeah, but in all those movies like Star Trek, Star Wars, any movie, if one of the main people get separated, they always expect them. They always say it to the villain, "My friends are coming. They will come. They will find me." There. I think it was kind of doing that spin on it. He just said it in a way that maybe didn't hit you right, but I think more or less he was like, "I got faith in my friends. They gonna find me. It don't matter." Blah 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 blah. That's the way I took it.
Yeah, no, I feel you, but I'm just like, it's not like he was
He's very
on another
nonchalant
planet.
about it.
You know what I mean? He was in another galaxy. A millions of galaxies those whales could have traveled to, and you're sitting there with how? Why? I was like, no, okay, I'm sorry. I mean, the first time around, I was like, oh, whatever. But the second time, I really noticed it. I'm like, what the fuck are you? What are you asking them? And like you said, nonchalant. He didn't seem surprised that she was there or anything like that. So,
or even ready to go. Like, let's go.
yeah, for real. Like, how we getting off of this planet? Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, I've been here way too long. I don't need to be here anymore.
I
So
realize Ezra ain't black. He ain't one of us.
for real, Manny.
I
For
try from
real.
the perspective of a brother.
For real. You right. 100%. But
See,
those
this is,
are
I'm gonna tell you, Bray would have been like, "Hey, man, you bring some weights." That's how he's been saying. I don't know what. Warren be like, "Hey, you bought some DC movies." JJ be like, "Hey, you bought some Chinese food or something." I'd be like, "Hey, you bought some chicken." Then you'd be like, "Hey, you bought some weed." That's what each one of us would have said. 5 people up here, and we always been asking 5 different things.
facts. I'd have been like, yo, you got some fried chicken here? Fried chicken. I've been on this planet for 10 years. I've been eating these nasty green things. Give me some fried chicken, please.
I was like, you brought some Popeyes? You brought some, right?
Facts.
Boy, I had
Hey,
Popeyes Friday. Oh my
hey,
god,
KFC
it
would
was
taste good
delicious.
there. You know what I mean? Any kind of fried chicken you get KFC would be the best chicken you ever had. KFC? I don't remember KFC being this damn good.
Oh, wow.
You
You lick your fingers, everything.
Fact. Can I have another one? Can I have another, please? I got any more? But yeah, those are basically my negatives for it. So we'll get into our
Also, can I
grades.
go ahead and bounce some man? 'Cause, I gotta.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I know you got to
Um,
bounce on it. Go ahead.
I give this a B. I didn't hate it, and I really give it a B. Maybe even lean towards a B plus because it moved the story. I was even though Thrawn wasn't like I pictured him in my mind and like I think he should be. They actually showed him like halfway in this episode. We didn't get him at the end with some kind of reveal, and it did show Ezra. I agree with Brian that the way it ended was kind of silly, and they really have watered down Sabine's character. But I give it a B. I think we're gonna see that army is supernatural. That Balin does have some kind of ulterior motive. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go in with Chris about Thrawn being dead, but I think we're gonna see him kick it up a notch as far as his intelligence and his shrewdness and how he's thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. Because in everything I read about Thrawn, he always thinks 3 or 4 steps ahead. He's like a space version of Batman. So
Good call. Yeah.
I'm ready to see that. And fellas, as always, man, it's good chatting with y'all. I'll be back next Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel. Now I gotta jump over the Storms live.
Shout yourself out down there.
Yeah, check me out tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, Eastern Standard Time. I do a little show called The Road to Wisdom. I do different words, scriptures, and also quotes of the day. I think tomorrow will be accountable, if I'm not mistaken. Accountable, if I'm not mistaken. But check it out, man. If you're not doing anything, I definitely appreciate it. Y'all be safe, man. Check y'all next Sunday.
Peace, Danny.
See you,
Take care,
Danny.
Danny.
Peace.
Later.
JG.
So the stuff I did like is the reason why I'm going to give this a B minus. I did think there's too much marketing going on, too much. It's just anyway. Yeah, B minus for me as far as predictions. I do predict that Baylan and Sabine are going to team up with not Sabine, Shin are going to team up with Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine. I got a feeling that's going to happen. That obsidian ring, I think it's going to play a role. Maybe just a plot device, or maybe just something like an Easter egg. I don't know, but because that obsidian ring can kind of absorb dark side power, whatever it does, I think that's going to play a role. I have a feeling that Ezra and Shin are going to get together.
What?
Yes, I have a feeling because they are too similar in a way. Because if you know, Ezra did battle with light and dark side at one time, and so I think he would be the one to help her kind of battle. Because she's kind of, even though she's a little evil and twisted, she kind of flips back and forth at times. So maybe I just want to see some soap opera mess going on.
I don't know. That sounds like as the world turns.
This shit was kind of boring to me. I'm sorry, this episode was a little boring. So I want something to happen. But all in all, 2 episodes left. I think this next episode's going to be more Ahsoka based.
It better be. Don't call it Ahsoka. Don't have Ahsoka in it.
It's going to have to be Ahsoka based. The last episode is going to be kind of thrown together. Maybe not so much in a bad way, but 2 episodes left. I mean, hey, what more can you do?
I agree. And Brian.
All right, so I'm actually I do believe they're going to go the Aboleth us away. I think that's where Baylan's going to go and actually release her entity, and I think Shin is going to see it and realize it's so bad. I saw what Chill said. I'm trying not to look at it right. Oh my god, that's too funny. But I think Shin is going to see what Baylan does and realize he did something really bad, and that she is going to kill Baylan. I believe she's going to be the one to kill. And then she has no side to be on.
I said that, by the way,
and,
way back.
Yeah, but then I think that's what she's going to have to go with Ahsoka. Like, because she'll have no one.
I think she'll go with Ezra. Watch.
Well, Ezra's going to be with Ahsoka too, right?
There you go. So I might be right. I might be right.
So, but it's like, because they don't have to be. She's going to have to look at. They're going to have to be looking at Sabine. So Sabine's going to have to look at Shin this entire time. Like you think she's going to be the evil one, but she's going to be that conflicted one, and she's going to kill Baylan because of what he did, and now all of them have to team together to try to kill this entity that they released into this world, along with the fact that them and Thrawn are all going back to the other side of the galaxy, to the back to their original galaxy. So all that could be happening, and that's where the movie is going to take place, because we have a big bad and then a bigger bad, and it's an epic thing, and then we have an entire movie. So I think all those things are going to happen, but I don't think Ahsoka's not going to get her rematch with Baylan. I really do believe it's going to be Shin that stabs him in the back, literally.
That would make sense.
As the world turns, I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Me, I'm gonna give it a B minus as well. Again, like I said, the first half was pretty good. I thought it was really well done, but then it drags on a little bit towards the end, so that was my issue with it. My predictions is they get out of that universe and they go and live happily ever after in the regular Star Wars universe. That's how it's gonna end. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna get all the stuff that you guys talked about, because like you said, there's only 2 episodes left, and it just.
But they got to set the movie. They got to set the
movie.
Yeah,
you're right, right. But I feel like for me, it's just like maybe they just like putting in Easter eggs in there and say, hey guys, this is that. It could be a possibility of that, or we could get some of it. I have no idea. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 2 episodes. I am excited for them. But other than that, man, I think that's about it.
Warren got to go. He didn't give his grade, right?
Oh shit, Warren, my bad.
Yeah, damn. I've been given such good news that you didn't even.
Yeah, I know. I'm so used to your negativity, I completely forgot you got into that. Go
It's
ahead,
called constructive criticism. I'm gonna give this. I know it's gonna be shocking, guys. I'm just gonna give this a solid B. Just a solid B.
Okay.
I can't go above that. Predictions. I think we're going to see Balin go over to the good side. He's definitely going to go over to the good side. Shin, I've been saying this since like the episodes 4 before when they were chasing after them on that. I think Shin reminds me of a bratty version of Anakin. She's gonna betray him. She's always questioning Balin for sure. And the only other prediction, and this is going to be way, way far, because I think that Ezra is going to train Hera's son,
Jason.
That's Jason. That's what, because remember, Kanan was the father. And that way. That's what I see. But that's most of my predictions. I don't think they're going to leave that planet just yet. I think that there's still stuff they got to set up for it. I don't think they're going to leave so fast. That's all my predictions and my grade.
I love that idea. And you know, if they release Aboleth, I think she destroys the ship and the ship. So they are stuck there at the end of the episode. Like they're still there in that galaxy.
I mean, it would make sense, right? Because Hera didn't go with them, so it's not like you have all of them there to say, okay, they're going to get back. It's just Ahsoka, Sabine, Thrawn, and the rest of them. So for them to be locked up in that universe would be interesting. And then the stuff that you can actually do if they do what they say, where the Force is different and you have more magical stuff in this, and then anything. There's a lot of stuff where they could go with it. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were actually stuck in that. So stuck in that universe together. Galaxy, I should say. Anything else?
I don't think I gave it. I give it a B. I don't think I gave it a grade, but yeah, a B.
Okay, gave it a B. There you guys go. So Brian gave it a B. Warren B. Me B minus. JG, what did you give it again?
A B minus.
B minus as well. All right, guys, we're going to go around the panel one last time so we can talk about our channels and call it a night. I'm going to be going over to Loki's channel in a bit to go talk about Expendables 4. I don't know if you guys seen it, but yeah, it's not that good. Brian, you're up.
Hey, I'm Brian the Grizzly. I'm 1/3 Spoiler Kings. I said we do movie reviews, TV show reviews. I do a lot of comic book. I just got my Blue Marvel in here. Completing I finally completed my set, so I have all 5 now. But this is what we do. We talk about all this fun stuff. I have a lot of strong opinions, and it's balanced out by the other 2 guys that I go on with. So I appreciate that. We're always looking for people, so we're on our way to 1,100 right now. We're about 2 away, so a couple more subscribers will be there. Nice. And I do a football talk on Sunday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays on Dynasty Pylon. So that's what we got.
Absolutely. Make sure you check it out. His channel is in the description, so you can sub to his channel if you're not already. Warren, no channel, but a troll on Twitter. Go ahead.
Wow. Yes, so you can find me at Warren, same name here. I speak facts. I don't cause drama. I just give you what's on my mind. No, nothing else. Twitter is where I am at. I am not going to leak about anything else until it's official. So that's it. You can find me on Twitter. Facts, not feelings. That's it.
There we go. Next up is JG Shaolin. Where can they find you, sir?
Wednesday nights on the OOC with the great Anzo, the great Roberto, and the amazing, the outstanding, the superstar, always man of the hour, Danny, aka The Road to Wisdom. Yes, I pimped his channel out there. You can also find me with my homie Superwise talking that geek stuff that I love. If everybody's a hype man, I'm always available. Let me know.
Absolutely. And on the OOC last week, we did our top 10 female and male rappers, and we did a poll, and JG actually he broke the record, man. He got a big fat whopping 0. Like, no
And
way.
everybody in that comment section can kiss my, you know what?
Who would you have as the best female rapper? I just want to know.
MC Light.
Then who didn't think MC Light's the best female rapper?
Well, we all kind of had her as the top, except for I think Low Key and Nadia. I think they had them. I don't even think they have them on the list, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And my guys, they had Rakim as number 1 for me.
Rakim is a cold. Hey, he changed the game, so I'm not hating on your list. Rakim's number 4 for me, but I'm not hating on your list.
Oh,
yeah.
I want to say one thing, just real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say, I appreciate the panel tonight, embracing their inner dark side, showing the hatred. It's always good.
So there'll be no more of that. We don't need to hear this crap coming out of this guy's mouth. Mike said, "Is your current Asian female body count listed on Twitter, Warren?"
Yes, it's a lunch special.
It would be 0. Like, what are we talking about? We know he gets no girls. But with that being said, guys, Big Afford Entertainment, you know where to find me. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we got 2 more after this, so hopefully they don't mess it up. But with that being said, peace, love, and hair grease, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
I am inevitable.